Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Friday's Inspiration. Let me just check. There we go. So, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you may be in the world today. Today, we are talking about how to amplify your creative rings. We just went through a massive reset on the twos, all the twos. And we went from many of us are have as many as 70 creative rings. I'll talk about what all this means in just a moment, but we have jumped to 80. So, what does that all mean and what does that have to do with you? Welcome. I am Kimberly Sherry. We have more and more new people joining, so I thought it would be great to share a little bit more about me this time, since some of you are new and you don't really know me from Adam. and I wanted to share hang on, something that I found the other day. This is how long I've been in the healing arts. So, back in 1979, I started this little business that was about iridology, reading the iris of the eyes. And this was the little brochure I made called Body Windows, and it it showed all the different parts of the iris, like a map, and all your body parts. And I would back then was starting to do these readings, and so this was all the way back from. You can actually see it here, so you're not. You could see that was way back in the day. Um, Phone number no longer good, but since 1979, that is 43 years ago. I know I was only 2 when I started, so no, I'm just kidding. At any rate, I've been doing this for a very long time, and it's morphed and changed over the years. I've also worked as a body worker, so my hands are very smart, very intelligent. But I've also uh, I have come a long ways. Healers are given a lot to heal, and I've been no different. So I was born and raised in a religious cult by my mother with the Jehovah's Witnesses, and I also was sexually abused by my father at a very young age, uh, just I think 2.5, 3, until I went to kindergarten. I was a lot of things, right? I don't need to go into all of it, but at any rate, there are a few things that I've done over the years that helped me to uh, pave my path so that I can help other people now. And so one of those was I started working with a school called Asclepion in San Rafael, California. It was a psychic institute. As a Jehovah's Witness, that would have been completely forbidden. So after I left the Jehovah's Witnesses, when I was suicidal at the age of 38, I joined the school, and it became my cult in reverse. So I went there every week for 12 years. And so this is how I became very proficient at what I do. So that was one very important thing. And then I also have worked a lot with plant medicines. I've worked with peyote uh, way back in the day, probably about a dozen years working in ceremony with that. And more recently with ayahuasca, which has completely changed my life and how I work with people. It's really helped to open how, helps you access places that you cannot access normally, really opens up the heart. And so that was really life changing for me. And then the third part is that I had was working with Dr. David Hawkins' scale of human consciousness. His scale only went to 1,000, but I would use that scale to measure and calibrate everything. And once I was able to see that the numbers could actually be increased, which was Dr. Hawkins didn't know you could do that. He didn't think you could raise your vibrations by more than a few points in a lifetime. At any rate, I used the scale to eventually raise this level beyond his scale, and with the help of ayahuasca, broke through his scale to create a new scale. the Infinity Scale, which is now outlined in my book, Access Your Ultimate Power, The Blueprint to Infinite Intelligence, available on Amazon. So we are using that scale today and every day. I use this with my clients. And as a matter of fact, today we just started the first day of our next 21-day round of MediClearings, where even today we'll be doing a MediClearing here. So if you've never experienced it before, you'll be hopefully pleasantly surprised at how quickly you can change how you feel in your body by shifting and changing the frequencies in your energy field. So that's my expertise, is being able to measure vibrational frequencies and then to be able to find what's bringing those down so that we can shift, change, expand, grow in our evolution. So I am a light leader leading the way out of this darkness. It's no accident I'm here on the planet at this time, and probably no accident that you're here as well. The shadows are kind of, you can't change it because that's just the way it is. But um, at any rate, just when I asked, the cloud comes along, and so good. That's how quickly we can create things. At any rate, we are here talking about some of the new developments in this scale that I use, the Infinity Scale. And and if you have questions about what I've done in the past, or you have any questions along the way, not about you personally, we're not doing that anymore. Um, I did that for about 2 years, but now we're saving that for private sessions. But if you have questions about the process, about the infinity system, about other things, that's great. I'd love to see that. Um, and of course, be sure to like, share, subscribe, share this with your friends, and that would be really awesome to be able to. Hang on 1 second. To be able to have more people that don't know what's going on here on board. Um, okay, so creative rings. What are creative rings? What do they do? And how can they help us? How can they hinder us or make things worse? All important things to know about this important part of our energy field. So in my book, I outlined the anatomy of our energy field. So it's really important because our inner world, our and our outer world, they interact with each other, and there we can know things about our inner world long before they actually manifest because we're paying attention to our energy field. So, one of the places that we're going to focus on today are the creative rings. So, these are rings that are stacked above our head, and we have a minimum of about three. And now, as I mentioned at the beginning, we have as many as 80 rings. So, some people will think, oh, more is better. I wish I just had more. I always want the most, the best. But that's not necessarily the case with these creative rings. So, what they do is they hold all of your dreams, your desires, your goals, and intentions right in those rings. And then, as pure source comes down through these rings, it will activate the rings. And as you run your energy, that's a process that we do. It's a 20-minute process. You'll experience that a little bit later, is that when pure source comes down through these rings, it's going to recalibrate them in our highest and best interests. Because sometimes we think we know what's best for ourselves and we don't, because we don't see the bigger picture. And so that's the beauty of these rings and this system, is that pure source is going to take care of what's best for us. And so, as pure source comes down through these rings and recalibrates them, It's going to be in your highest and best interest. The one caveat about the rings, however, is that the rings don't care what it amplifies. So these rings are going to make everything. So the more rings you have, the bigger, the faster, the more intensely you're going to create things. And so, since the rings don't care what it amplifies, if you have any lower vibrating energies in your energy field, it's going to amplify that as well. So that's why sometimes, clients will be, they will get a clearing and they have a bunch of rings now, more than they had when we started, because as you clear energies, then you have more access to what's going on up here, and it's going to make everything bigger. However, if you start to detox, energetically detox, and you also start to, um, like, after a clearing, old stuff, it's not uncommon for old stuff to surface because it wants to come up and out. If it gets too intense, and you're in a lot of fear, so what fear is going to do, it's going to contract you. So oftentimes you'll pull up your grounding cord, you'll lose your grounding cord, and you'll also lose some of your rings. Like, so you kind of compact and contract. So the less rings you have, the more of a sign it is that you are contracted. So those of you who come here are in a process of expanding, growing, evolving. And so, um, yes, we would love to have more rings, but I don't give you more rings. That's one of the numbers I don't control. It's more of an indicator of how evolved you are, how, um, where you are on your evolutionary path. And it's also not a report card. So sometimes we will, people who will get their vibrational altitude report, it comes with a lot of measurements. And sometimes people will use that to judge themselves like it's a report card. So that just shows that you have more places in you that want to be released, that are being judgmental, that are being really hard on you. So, um, so that's the rings, and having more is not necessarily better. And however, our energy field, since it's smart, it's going to do what it needs to do in your highest and best interest. So if you start to contract in those rings, it's no worries, because it can see that you've got too many things going on. It doesn't want to amplify. So that's all very interesting stuff. And all right, let's take a peek at what we've got here. We've got France. Good to have you here. And I know we have London and we have South Africa. Great. We always have a nice international audience. It's so great to have all of you here. India, um, Somali. Excellent. Oh, that's from India. Okay, maybe it will help if I get my fancy new glasses on. Sonali. Okay, sorry. Great, great, great. Yes. And so if you have Denmark, great to have you here. Yes, I love hearing where you guys are all coming from. As a matter of fact, if you're listening to this as a replay, do a hashtag replay and let us know where you're listening to this from, because we always love hearing where everybody's from. That's really great. California, yes, that's close to me. Yes. All right, so getting back to our rings, let's see what else I want to tell you about rings. So, um, so as we do an energy clearing, one of the things that happens is that we can increase the amount of rings that we have. So, when we increase the amount of rings that we have, that's that's obvious to me. It's a good sign. It shows me that you've expanded, you've grown, you're ready for more stuff. And if it contracts, it just means, oh, you've got some other stuff to clear, new stuff to clear. So that's all well and good. There's something else that wants to come forward, and it's just a little further back. I can't quite access it yet, but we will. I don't I don't do notes anymore because spirit just brings through what needs to be heard. And so, but there is something else I did want to address today, just very briefly. And that's because it's on everybody's mind, And I did last Friday, I did a spontaneous energy clearing for the situation in the Ukraine, Russia and Ukraine. And I've also recently posted some numbers which are neutral. So it's really interesting how someone can take neutral numbers and wrap all these stories around it and what it means, and that it means that I'm on this side, or I support this or that, or and so just know that I am like non-political. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. We didn't do politics. So I know very little to next to nothing about politics. And so when I'm posting numbers that are neutral, all it is information. And uh, another thing too about the situation that's going on over there. Yes, it's horrible. Yes, it's war is there's never anything good about war. And there are a few things, like if we were to take a step back. So when you're down in the mire and the soup with everybody else, then you're going to find yourself picking sides, uh, defriending people who are not on your side. So that whole frame of thinking is very third dimensional, and it's a sign of not having evolved very far. It's amazing how many people have not learned from the past 2 years about all the divisions that are trying to be created by these outer influences that have been controlling the planet. And so now that since everybody started to lose interest in the whole fiasco that they've had going for the last 2 years, they've redirected everybody's attention. And so if you haven't learned yet how the media is going to skew your attention and will outright lie to you, if you haven't discovered that yet over the last 2 years, know that that's still happening. They haven't changed. A leopard does not change its spots. So they are still lying to us about things. And so it's good to take a step back. And this is all an opportunity to look at ourselves, because everything that is going on the planet is a reflection of the collective consciousness. And so this is still showing how many people are still in this land of division and dividing. When we expand our energy field and we're clear all the way out to the 40th layer, the 40th layer is where oneness exists. There are no divisions out there. And this is where unconditional love lives. And so when we expand our energy out to this layer and we're clear all the way out to there, that's what we're going to experience in our everyday life. There are no divisions in our life. There is no us and them and red and blue and this country and that country and all of it. There's just none of that, because we know that we're all one. We're all in this together. And so if you find that you're getting triggered by what's going on, number one, I suggest that you stop watching the news, because it is designed to infuriate you and to inflame all of those energies that feed these darker energies on the planet, making you afraid, making you fearful, making you angry and furious, and having to put all that on some person or another. So just notice where you are in all of this equation. It's not to make anybody wrong, it's all just information to see where we are at in our spiritual evolution, in our growth. And so, especially if you're a light worker and you're leading other people, to be able to stand back far enough and see the bigger picture so that we can keep working on ourselves instead of creating more divisions, more anger, more fear. All of that is an opportunity to look at ourselves. So that's what we're going to be focusing on partially in our clearing today, is more of the places where you're getting triggered and you're sending that frequency out and helping to create this collective mess that we have on the planet. So really important part of taking a more evolved look at what's really going on the planet right now. All right. Let's see. We have Canada. Good to have you in the house. Virginia Beach. Great to have you guys here. All right. Does anybody have any questions about what we've been talking about so far? And just one other thought that's coming to mind, because just like in the past 2 years, if you weren't a certain way, then people would judge you and make you wrong and throw lots of doo doo at you. Um, the same thing is happening again. And so, just as I say, notice where you are on that spectrum. And yeah. All right. Oh, I know what it was. That, just like over the last 2 years, I personally, well, at the beginning, I will say I did get sucked into a lot of what was going on. I think everybody did, and I was trying to fight for a cause and all of that. So I did get stirred up. This time around, I've got the bigger picture. I see what they're up to, and so I'm continuing to stay in my higher elevations, in my joy, and without feeling guilty. I think it is a mistake, or um, it's certainly not very helpful to think that if you're not um, down in the soup with everyone else about what's going on between Ukraine and Russia, then there's something wrong with you. So I know that, me personally, I'm not going to feel guilty about being in my higher elevations. It doesn't mean that I'm disconnected to what's going on. Trust me, I was in the Amazon. I tapped into global grief, and I can tap into that place anytime as a reminder of how fucked up this world is. And so I know the pain that is on the planet right now. And I'm choosing to rise above it and help lift others up and out of the mire so that we're not suffering, so that we stop creating the chaos and insanity that's on the planet. So I think that's what Spirit wanted me to say today. All right. So thank you, Elizabeth. She says, great information, spot on with focusing on ourselves, manifest what we know to be true and real for ourselves. Yes, thank you for acknowledging that. Right. And if there were more people leading the way out of this mire, who held a bright light, who held a strong anchor that was really rooted into the earth and led from that big open hearted place, more people that do that, the faster we're going to get out of this mess. So just have to say that as well. All right, let's do a MediClearing. Let's raise our frequencies so that we can be in the energy of joy, so that we can enjoy this weekend. We are still in the energy of the new moon until, I believe, tomorrow, which is the time to plant your seeds of intention. Super powerful energy supporting our growth and our evolution right now. And so there is a right way to pray about and for what's going on in the Ukraine and Russia. And it's certainly not to pick a side. I like to support. I know a lot of people are praying for the Ukraine and damning Putin. So that is creating more divisions. And I'm not here to say, I'm not here about, I don't do sides. So just so you know that, I don't do sides. And because that's not uniting us, that's creating more divisions. So if you're going to pray about the situation, that we pray for the people, the innocent people, that we pray for the children that are being rescued. I don't know if you know, but there's 3,200 miles of underground tunnels in the Ukraine. And so this is a part of what's going on that people don't know about. They're certainly not going to talk about this on the news, that these children are being rescued. A lot of the darker reptilian energies in the Ukraine, this has been a huge hub, is being taken down. So um, for what it's worth, do your own research, not on the news, on other places where they actually tell you the truth. So let's get busy with a MediClearing. So we're going to do this process called running your energy. It's what I encourage all of my clients, $1 million clients, those who are just getting started, to do this process on a daily basis. There is a 20-minute meditation that you can download and listen to. Half is devoted to raising your money vibration, and the first half is all about just running your energy, doing the process. So let's get started. Let's get started. Let's get grounded. Yeah. So we're going to put down a grounding cord that goes from the base of your spine. And many of you don't have a grounding cord. So just talking about all this stuff puts you in fear. So that's an indication that you've still got some work to do. So let's put down a grounding cord so you have a place to release all of this stuff. You have a place to release it. And you can start. Yes, there we go. Whew. Yeah. So that grounding cord goes from the base of your spine to the center of the planet. Make it big and fat so you can accommodate all of these energies that want to be released. And then we're going to send roots down from the bottoms of our feet deep into the earth, hundreds of miles, and it's going to intermingle with this intelligent communication layer of all the root system. And we're actually going to wrap around the entire planet with these roots as they go deep into the earth, like you're wrapping around the inner core of the planet. I believe the earth is hollow. And so as we send these roots down, we're intermingling with this crust, the earth's crust, which is about 4,000 miles. And so we're intermingling with this crust, which is where we can feel safe. We can bring up the energy of abundance, pure darkness, and also connecting to the crystalline light energy. It's a little bit bright. All right, so we're bringing this earth energy now up through the legs. There we go. Through the calves where you have some stored adrenaline. All this sitting around and worrying and not using our bodies, the energy is going to collect in the calves. Hang on, hang on just 1 second. This is really getting a little too bright. One moment. Okay, there. I don't know, I didn't do that before. There we go. Okay, great. Ah, there, now I can see. Okay, so we are bringing the earth energy up through the legs and then down the grounding cord. When it gets to the top of the legs, it's going to go down the grounding. And then we are going to see if you have a worry circle. Yes, it's out to the third layer of your aura. And so we're just going to pull in this circle of energy. It radiates around your root chakra. So we're going to pull in this circle that holds all your worry, stress, anxiety, doubts, fears, uncertainty, a lot of fears, a lot of anger. Just pull this circle in and we're just going to dump it all down the grounding cord. There we go. Yeah, the more that we focus on the news, the more we're allowing the powers that be to continue to take our power away. When we're distracted with all of this nonsense, we're not using our creative energies to create what we desire in our life. And even if it's just more joy in our life, they're robbing us of our joy, but we don't have to participate. You're in charge of that. Okay, good. So now we've cleared that worry circle. The fourth and final part to getting ultra grounded is to ground our heart. This fourth step is not in my book because it's so new. So we're going to go up to the heart, which is only about 50% open. And so we want to open it all the way so you can stop judging yourself, stop judging other people, and be kinder to yourself. Start filling yourself up with self-generated love. The place we're going to go to open your heart is at your root chakra, interestingly enough. We're going to go out to the fourth layer at your root, where it doesn't feel safe to be vulnerable, to open that heart, to be loving. Maybe it's harder to be loving with a closed heart. If you're busy choosing sides, you're not in that heart energy. Okay, there we go. So we're dropping all of that stuff down the grounding cord. You might notice that you're starting to feel a little different in your body, a little maybe calmer. Maybe you can breathe again. Okay, great. So we're going to go back up to the heart. So now the heart is open 100%. So we're going to bring this bright, luminous energy down through the central core so we can ground the heart. So we're bringing the heart energy down to the solar plexus where it's stopping. That's the stop sign. Says, nope, you can't ground your heart. So we're going to go right at the solar plexus out to that third layer, and we're going to pull this energy in and drop it down the grounding cord so that you can ground your heart. So you can ground out all the judgments that are probably not even yours. And you can start self-generating some love for yourself. There we go. Let's see if the heart goes through the solar plexus now. Through the solar plexus, yes. Down through the second chakra, spilling down the root. Okay, great. So now you're ultra grounded. Notice how much calmer you're starting to feel. Now we're going to bring your attention above your head, above your crown, to above all the rings. We're going to connect with pure source energy. You might have a different name for it. We're going to bring this energy down through your creative rings. You don't even have to know how many you have. But we're going to bring, so it's kind of stopping right at the top of those rings, this pure source. So what your intentions are apparently not in your highest and best interest. So pure source is going to recalibrate this so that they're going to serve you, your intentions. So as we're bringing pure source down through the rings, there we go. into the crown where it's stopping. So right at the top of the crown is where you get your personal permission so that you don't have to ask other people, is this okay? Is that okay? You give yourself permission. That's being sovereign. So as you bring pure source into the crown where it's stopping, we're going to go out to the third layer. So out here at the crown, there is another circle. It's the permission circle. So we're going to just imagine you know where the third layer is. We're going to pull in this circle so you can start being more sovereign. There's a lot of energies on the planet that don't want you to have your power. This planet was originally set up as a slavery planet. So it's like we're free-range slaves. We think we're free, but we're really not. So now that we have discovered how we can start mastering our own energy, we can start removing these influences so that we can have control of our life. So as pure source is coming into the crown, there we go, into the sixth chakra. So right behind the forehead, it's stopping at that sixth chakra, out to the third layer. So here we're going to clear some of the beliefs that make you think that you're powerless, that you have no control over what's going on. To a certain degree, that's true. We really control nothing. But the fact is that we are very powerful. We have just given our power away to all these other energies on the planet. So instead of feeling like a victim, that, oh, we're helpless and powerless, this is where you start to re-own your power and just let these beliefs go. You're very, very powerful, and you just have forgotten. So I'm helping you remember. So as we're bringing pure source down through the central core, through the sixth chakra, into the throat, good, into the heart. Okay, so it's stopping right at the heart. We're going to go out to the third layer, both front and back, and we're going to pull in these energies. There's a control being here. So I want you, we'll do this collectively, to use a black flame, which is pure darkness, and this will help to transmute the attachments of these fear entities in our heart that want to keep us in this energy of being afraid, to be vulnerable, to open that heart, to self-generate love, to tap into our infinite intelligence. So I want you to use that black flame right there in the heart. Some light language is wanting to come through now. O nae e a mae ko oi tu ama a ne tita pe kukua. E ne atata ke a mea tu mapa I ke e na e oku uya. Okay, so as we're bringing pure source down through the heart, something's still there. Okay, so this is the newest energy that we have found. It's also not in my book. The infinity system is a system that's constantly growing, changing, and evolving. So yes, another book is in order, so you guys can stay up to date. But come here every week and you'll be up to date. This is the most up-to-date stuff. So in the 50th layer of our aura is where the watchers are hanging out. This is a very dark energy that's trying to prevent us from expanding. Now, the 40th layer is where oneness exists. Remember, I talked about that earlier. Oneness, no divisions, unconditional love. It's also where the alliance hangs out. Those are the good guys. And so it doesn't want this, the watchers do not want this layer to continue to expand. So it's kind of like a gatekeeper trying to keep us compressed a little bit. But now we've found them. So now we can take that energy out of our field so we can keep expanding. So the way we're going to do that let's see, 7, 6, 5, 4. So we're still at the heart. Okay. We're going to use a rainbow flame, and you can use it right in the heart, and just trust that it knows that it has enough intelligence to know how far out to go to transmute these energies that are trying to compress and hold down our incredibly powerful feminine heart energy. So use a rainbow flame in there. We're all going to do this together. Going to turn up that flame while we transmute this. We're all helping our brothers and sisters out here, helping each other out. So as we do this collectively, we create a mastermind and we help amplify each other this way. So go ahead and turn up that rainbow flame. Oi ma e anate tutuaka epa ino yotua kini I e amapa. Oya no tutuape. Ia neaka oko ame pi natea. Ine omopua. Oya ka e na hiako. Okay, let's see if we can bring this pure source energy down through the heart. Aha, there it goes. Through the heart, down into the solar plexus, where it's stopping. So this is our power out to the third layer. So a lot of fear in here. Maybe you're afraid of the future. You don't know what's going to happen. That doesn't sit well with you, not knowing what's going on. There's a fear entity. There are fear entities in here. There's about 5 of them. So we're going to use a black flame again. There's also some control beings, but we use a black flame either way. So use that black flame. We're going to transmute all the fear entities, control beings that are trying to hold down your power. They don't want us to collaborate, get together, be solution oriented. So go ahead and use that black flame right in your solar plexus. Aena e amo kua ape anatitia e maeke o oyama wate e ki emeo to mapa wape anatitia koye ame te tuama ki ea. Okay, so now we can breathe a little better. Okay, as we're bringing pure source down through the solar plexus now, there we go. Solar plexus down into the second chakra, where it's stopping again, out to the third layer. There's a lot of fear in here. Fear of the future, fear of the unknown, fear of displeasing others, fear of dying. That was a very powerful fear that they've used against you for the last 2 years. Okay. We're just dropping all of this energy, all these fears from your solar plexus. We're just pulling it all in. We're going to drop it down the grounding. This is where all the stuff goes to be transmuted. The energy at the center of the planet is very, very high vibrational. Some people get afraid to send the energy down there thinking it's hurting the earth, and that's completely not true. The earth has been here millions of years, and it will continue to be here millions of years, no doubt. And this is why, because it's got a high vibrational core. And all these dark energies are starting to leave the planet. Okay. So as we're bringing pure source down through second chakra, okay, so there's still some energy there. Second layer. So now there's also some anger that's showing up here. So anger is great if you're using it to move a mountain. You use it like a laser, very focused to get something done. Unfortunately, too many people are using it as their fuel source. Like that's how they motivate themselves every day is by cracking the whip, beating themselves up, and that's no fun. It's not how we're meant to operate. There's greater powers available if we just get out of our way. So here at the 1, 2, 3, okay, out to the 15th layer, that's the 1% energy. It's control being. Let's use another black flame. So it's pure sources coming down through the solar plexus. There we go. Into that second chakra, spilling down the root. So take a deep breath into this vertical alignment. You're connected way up high to pure source, rooted deeply into our Mother Earth. Oya mai ea na kukuape iti oya napa ai ki anatea. Okay, so now we're vertical. Now we're going to mix these two energies in the root. We're going to bring it up the front. Notice how your body is starting to shift and change. And maybe you're noticing some energies that are surfacing that are making you feel uncomfortable. This is often the reason why people are not in their bodies all the way, because they don't know how to get rid of these energies. And so then they leave their bodies because that's easier. They know how to do that. But if you're not home to receive all the messages that are coming in, which direction to go, how far, how fast, you're going to miss all of that information because you're not at home to receive the signals. So that's what we're doing here is we're clearing these energies that make it hard for you to even be in your bodies. So as we're bringing this energy, 50-50 mixture, the earth energy, pure source, we're going to bring that 50-50 mixture up the front, real close to the spine, through the second, where it's stopping. So out to that 15th layer. Really important to clear this 1% energy out of the second chakra because this is where they're creating through you. The second chakra is our baby maker. It's also where it's an energy transformer, this second chakra. It converts energy into physical things like money, like clients, like rich resources, like support. Whatever it is that we need on our journey. It could be information, it could be a mentor, it could be something tangible that helps us on our journey. Okay, there we go. So now we're bringing this 50-50 mixture up through the second and the third, where it's stopping again. So there's a lot of blocked energies because you're not used to doing this process on a regular basis. If you do this on a regular basis, it only takes moments to go through all this whole process, and then you're clear every single day. So this is giving you a head start for the weekend. And so as we're coming up into the solar plexus, out to that 15th layer where the 1% wants to hold down your power as well, let's just pull all that energy in. We're going to send it up through the central core. This is how it came in. You can send it off planet. Speed things up here a little bit. We're going to bring this up through the solar plexus, up into the heart. Let that stir in there, clearing all the places where you're really hard on yourself, judging yourself mercilessly. That's no fun. Okay, let's bring this up through the heart. There we go. Throat. 6, crown, rings, and then it's going to cascade down through all the layers of your aura. We're going to pay special attention to that third layer where there's a lot of effort in your energy field, like it's doing things the hard way. Too many steps. There's a lot easier ways to create. And some of the half of the equation, yes, we have to get things done, but we let that magnet pull things to us effortlessly, the feminine magnet. Okay, so we're coming up through the heart. There we go. Now we're cooking. Through the heart, throat, 6 crown rings, all the layers of the aura. I think we were clear. I guess I backed up a little bit. We're clearing the third layer of the aura, clearing more of that effort. We're going to jump out to the 15th layer. We're going to start at the bottom, lifting this up, up, up. Whew, yes, you can breathe again. 15. And then all the way out to the 50th layer wants to get cleared. Let's start at the bottom, lifting this watcher energy up and out. If you wanted to create a rainbow ring all the way around you at the bottom, just let those flames rise up and clear this watcher energy out of the 50th layer. So we lift that all the way up above our crown, off planet. There we go. Great. Now we're going to clear our circle of reciprocity. We're going to start at the heart. We're going to bring our energy out that right arm. So it comes down to about here, and then it stops. So you start to give, but then you don't follow through. And maybe it's because you're just too tired. You have no energy. There's nothing coming back. So why give? But receiving starts with giving first. So we're going to clear this right arm, masculine giving, implementing side. And then if you put your fingertips together like you're holding a small ball, then the energy can flow out of the right hand into the left. And we're going to, so out the right, in the left. Okay, there we go. So we're going to bring that energy. So the energy stops right at that left hand. So we're going to bring the energy in the left feminine receiving side. This is why you're not receiving love, support, clients, whatever it is that you need to receive. It's not coming in because you are blocking it. It's not to make you wrong. This is just information, right? So that you can know that instead of blaming other people for not giving to you, that you're in charge. You're in charge of what you receive. Okay, good. So as it's coming down through the front and back of the heart, out through the throat simultaneously, through the 6th chakra, through the crown, through all the rings. Wow, there we go. And so because we talked about the Ukraine and Russia beforehand, a lot of those energies showed up in this process. So this is not about saying a prayer for that situation. We cleared the energies in us that are contributing to the collective consciousness that is manifesting all this chaos and nonsense in Europe. So let's see if there's anything else that wants to get cleared. Let's see. We have some questions here, so that's great. I love questions. Please help me disconnect from someone who is the antithesis of creativity. So we're not doing any private stuff here. This is more doing a collective thing. But if you do want some private help, that's always available. And it always starts with a vibrational altitude report so that you know where you're at. I know where you're at. And let's see if you posted that, Roma. I don't think you did. So Roma will post the link for that. And then you will be able to get that. That's where it all starts for your personal stuff. So great questions. And then let's see, Kanti. When you said when you said you are very powerful, and when you use the rainbow flame in here, my body shivered and I am euphoric. Well, excellent, Conti. Thank you for sharing that. This can be very, very powerful, and this work that we're doing. And this is happening in real time, and it's affecting people around the planet. As you can see, there's people from all over the world here. And maybe you're also experiencing a greater calmness in your body and in your energy field and in your heart. And that's how we change the world. We don't change the world by doing protests. And the reason people do protests is they don't want to feel alone. So I think in one sense, it's good to know. I think it's been good to know that, like in Australia, they were only reporting 10,000 people showed up in Canberra, but really it was closer to 500,000. So, I don't believe the media when they give their numbers. Soon you'll be hearing about all the numbers of people that have died in this war. So, you believe what you want, but that's not important to really changing what's really going on in us. So the less we can stay connected to all of the misinformation, and really focusing inward. And if you want to pray for the innocent people there and the children there, then that's a great thing. And that these dark powers, wherever they are, on whatever side they're on, that these dark energies get remedied sooner than later, right? All right, so here's the vibrational altitude report. You can get that. And last but not least, yes, thank you for the reminder, Roma. We did start our 21-day program where we're doing this process every day for 21 days, but we're focusing just for like 20 minutes every day. We did start today. The doors are still open. We will close them tonight because you can use the weekend. Well, let's see. Let's close them Sunday night, maybe, Roma, so that if you want to come in, that you can. No, I'm going to. We'll close it Saturday night. Okay, we'll close it Saturday night. And the reason I'm saying that is because, one, you would need to listen to the recording, which has already been posted. But for those of you who'd like to participate in the liver cleanse we're also doing for 9 days, that starts tomorrow. So you'll want to get in right away so you can be a part of all the things that are happening. And so we also have now a morning foundational group and an evening advanced group. So of the new people, the foundational group would be such a perfect place for you to join. It's a much slower pace. It's more educational, so you can learn how to master your energy for 21 days. You bring your intentions, and if you've seen what can happen here in just a few minutes, just imagine what could happen in 21 days. As a matter of fact, I forgot because I was so into telling you all about this. I want you to hear. I know we had intended to put this in the middle, and I totally apologize, Roma. But there's a really great testimony I want you to listen to of people who participated in the last 21 days, and the magic that they created in these 21 days is just amazing. So I hope you'll listen to that all the way through. It's only a few minutes, but don't be in a hurry to go rush off to other things if you're curious about this program. So thank you, Rinky. She feels good now, and I bet a lot of others of you do as well. So you can amplify this by doing it every single day, and it's so powerful. Spring is coming. What are you going to be launching in the spring? So I know what we're going to be doing. So at any rate, I am going to play this for you, and I am going to sign off, but I want you to listen. I want you to stay and listen to this to the end, and really hear how other people's lives have really been changed and transformed. I am going to be getting my hair cut tomorrow. So the next time you see me, I will be having very, very short hair. So um, it's a very this is part of the energy that I'm bringing to this 21 days, because I plan on doing a complete reset for myself. And I'm growing right along with all of you. So maybe I'm at a different level, but it's still the same process. So I hope you'll listen to this, and I also hope that you're going to have a fabulous weekend and enjoying this beautiful energy. So I will see you next week, sending much love, and I'll see you with my new haircut next time. And stay and listen. All right. Sending so much love. Namaste. I'd love to hear, maybe what even brought you to this group. Like, what was your motivation? Did you have any breakthroughs? Or ahas? Where were you before? Where are you now? Whatever you'd like to share.
I was used to being alone and being in bed and putting everything kind of on the shelf on my life. Just everything was just about me getting better. And then along came Kimberly and gave me a few readings and a little bit of help. And slowly, by day, I started popping out of being in, just not communicating with people and just in my own little world. And it's been quite a ride. And it's been a year now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a year. And so everything is going great. All my days are almost like orchestrated it's always in the flow. I mean, I'm doing what I love doing, which is energy work and meditating and body work and, health. And that's all working out really well. But it was necessary for me to get out of my own shell. It was necessary for you to come up and pick me up and go, yes, you can do this. Yes, you can do that. And I thought in the beginning, there's no way I could make an 8 o'clock call in the morning. I thought that was hilarious. And so, that just shows you how much I've changed. My marriage has never been better. I'm always in a great mood when we hang up from the calls in the morning. I don't care what, it's just like, watch and see how I change within 30 minutes. You won't believe it.
I just made this journey because I was feeling a little stuck financially and just emotionally with work and some personal relationships. And so this has really helped ground me and just start the day off in a really nice, positive tone. And it's brought me a lot of blessings. I've had transactions, close that I wasn't expecting. I've had additional income come into the household. I had a puppy manifested. She's running around right now.
Oh, nice. Yeah. A little love in the house.
Yes, so much love. And it's just been great. And I'm really, really thankful to be here. And this has been such a wonderful group. And I'm just so blessed.
Yeah, it was a powerhouse group this time. It always is, but I don't know. Each time just seems to get better. I don't know what it is.
It does.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's really excellent.
I was so bothered by people who are just blindly believing the pharmaceutical companies and believing in this lie. So for me, I felt quite ungrounded and had a lot of anger over this whole issue. And what I have found in the last 21 days is I feel much, much more grounded. Whatever they're doing doesn't affect me.
I feel like things are opening up. There's still tremendous demands. I feel like there's almost no time for rest and self-care other than that 30 minutes I carve out for this meditation. But it's really helping me to stay in a space that allows me to show up from the right place for my family, for my clients. And there's tremendous unknown around money and how we're going to make all this work. But I just feel like that's not my job. My job is to stay in the right space and just keep showing up. So yeah, so thanks for allowing me to participate with y'all.
I am going through like a huge transition, and this definitely is making everything go smoother and easier. And the biggest thing that I noticed actually, which I'm super happy and excited about, is me being more disciplined and being able to follow through, which like I've been stuck, not for a while, probably all my life, procrastinating for so long. And I was like constantly in between, like, oh, it should be easy, or we don't have to put too much willpower and all that. But I realized, yes, I had to discipline myself. So that's really going so much smoother than it was. So I'm really, really happy about it, like making some positive changes and sticking to them.
I actually felt a little bad when I first heard the first recording, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a tribe of goddesses, and I don't want to mess with the sisterhood here. But I also felt it was a very authentic calling to be a part of this. So I'm like, all right, I guess I got my place for whatever reason.
Yeah. I think in the last one, there was one man too. So cool. Yeah, I guess it tends to be mostly women, but men are also welcome. So that's great to have you here. Have a great day.